Hello everyone, my name is Ram. Welcome to Buzzyfields Devlog number 2. During the last 2 weeks, I worked on the main menu and the save system. Everyone knows a good programmer can easily write code that works the first time, right? So it did not work the first time. So one night I gave up and I wrote myself a little note to remember what I wanted to do the next day. So this morning I went on Trello to check a few tasks I wanted to do before I started editing the devlog. But first, a very important task. Click on Get, Order for $0. Thank you, Epic, for the free game, and off you go on the list of games I will probably never install. Well, Hitman is a good game, but I already have it on Steam. But first, let's take a walk in the woods with my kids while we discuss a few things. I was away for work last week, but I was able to start programming the save system. Programming the save system is not the most interesting thing in the world, but it's necessary for moving forward. It can be pretty tedious, but I was always motivated by the progress made. Then I realized that I needed a proper main menu screen to take fully advantage of the save, load, and new game functionality. At first, I wanted to make a loading screen like a splash screen show up while loading the game in parallel on another thread, but that proved to be more trouble than I thought. I really wanted to make the game load on another thread, so I followed a few tutorials online. It seemed pretty straightforward in practice. You create a thread and then call the start function to execute a method on the new thread. It worked pretty well, but I was having a problem that the game object created on another thread was not freed when I wanted to create a new game. So it resulted in double signals being sent. I could not figure out why, so I abandoned the idea of loading the game on another thread. So for now, the menu just consists of buttons, but eventually I will add the Buzzyfields logo. For the save system, I wanted it to be flexible and expandable. If I want to add new classes in the future, new functionality, it needs to be easy to include it in the save system. So how it works is, first the player requests the game to be saved from the main menu. It prompts the selection of a file and then calls the save data function on the controller. The controller handles the read and write to file and calls the save data function on the game object to retrieve the data to be saved. The game then calls save data on every object from which we want to save some data. and so on down the depth of the program. You probably start to get the pattern here. It basically creates a big dictionary of data that is converted to the JSON format and written to a file. The file is saved on the user path on the computer or the phone. Loading the game is basically the opposite. You read the file, you call the load data on every game object, and then loading can be a little tricky and very tedious because you have to deal with converting a dictionary of text to a game object. It is particularly important when loading an integer. Don't forget to cast it to an int, or Godot will load it as a float, and it will cause some hard to understand bug reports. So this is what the JSON format looks like. It's the save file that stores all the data for every game object, like the products, the fields. In this example here, we have the inventory with the product list. So product 0 will be wheat flour, for instance, and it has a quantity, a quality, and a freshness. With the save and load system, the game is now officially playable in a very basic form. So I will probably play a little bit to identify bugs and obvious balance issues. I will go down the list of tweaks and improvements I want to do, and the next big feature will be animals. But I am not certain it will be ready for the next devlog in a week or two. Well, it was a pleasure. I hope you had a very good time, and we'll see you in a few days.
Da da da